Does anybody know what you can fly at 27,000 feet? What is going on here? No, I would never do this. That's an extremely skilled driver there. Oh my goodness. Look, he touched the car. Somebody write him a ticket. Thank you. The music is off, you guys. This is crazy. And why?
Candy company Haribo has issued a warning that some of its Happy Cola candies sold in the Netherlands reportedly tested positive for cannabis. Local media reports that several people, including at least one family, became, quote, quite ill.
Quite ill?
Like couch locked to me after eating the candy, prompting a police investigation.
Oh, come on.
It is not clear if cannabis was in this drug or in this candy, how that drug made its way into the treats.
You already know though. This is the Netherlands. Welcome back to another episode, you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, share, and subscribe for more content. Oh my goodness. Just wash your hair. Like what? Wash your hair.
What they doing is they're trying to rebrand. Because when they rebrand or when they stop talking about it and they go find them a black woman, then they're gonna pass it to them. So y'all be careful out there, because
I told y'all.
yeah, they mad now, so they're gonna try to pass it on to the next person, and the next person gonna be the person that they hate the most.
You better watch out.
Cadê você? Aí, ó, quer
What
subir, ó.
is that?
Olha lá, brincando com a senhora.
It's deformed. Poor thing. She loves it. Look at it. Ew. Did y'all see that? That was quick. Did y'all miss it? Look at the cup over there by that baby thing. It was in his hand. Time to move. Nope. Stop it right now. I cannot deal with this. Nothing in my nose or my ears. I'm done. I'm done, you guys. What is this? A marble? What? OMG, you to the doctor? Ew, what is that? What if it's a spider? Just get this. What is this? Oh my gosh. Y'all, I cannot deal with this. I would have been screaming. I would have ran all over the house. Okay. This person is just playing around. Like, hurry up. Get it out. You see, I can't deal with it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is going on? And that was it. This is in China? Oh no. on there, but doesn't look good.
What the hell was that? Oh shit! Yo, there's actually something.
There's actually something where?
There's actually something somewhere.
I don't see anything.
What is that sound? Which one just got on? What was that?
Why are all the lights off?
Oh shit!
What? I missed it. Did y'all miss it?
What the hell was that?
I don't see anything. Whatever. Interesting. What is this? This cannot be real.
مرحبا كيف حالك؟ اسمع أنا مش مؤذي لك والله العظيم.
Who put this on my...
إيش؟
Bye.
أنا مش مؤذي.
Do you guys believe that or not? Let me know in the
Wow.
comments below.
Wow, we really need to talk about this. The Anunnaki returning to Earth. My Pentagon insider has been in touch again just now. And basically, he's sent me a long list of details and emails and correspondence that basically say that the US military at the Pentagon, they know that the Anunnaki came to Earth, created hybrid humans to mine gold. It's basically what Zachariah Stitchin said. The Anunnaki are then set to return to Earth in the next 6 months. And this is where it gets really weird.
Oh.
The US military knows this. It gets obscured with things like Project Blue Beam, with a fake alien invasion, a fake second coming of Christ. There's all these things that are being put out, which is basically disinformation. And the reality is our creators are returning to Earth on a UFO in 6 months' time, where there'll be the final day of reckoning, of judgment. Will they take full control? Will they take some of us back to their planet? Who knows? But stay tuned for more inside information. Thank you.
Oh no! Look at the current! That's scary. Somebody save him.
You got it. You got it.
They're just watching.
Get a tissue.
He better not be talking like that.
Inappropriate. See, now the ghost is very upset. Don't do that.
Oh. Is she alive? Do y'all see that? Oh no. That's a lot of potatoes. Yeah, that's serious. Look at the tires.
I told you, gang, that America is lying to us, right? They're saying that they walked, like I've been telling you, they walked from India and they walked from Pakistan. Now, if you look at the old map of Tartaria, and this is what I've been saying, right? This is India. This is East India, East Pakistan, right? So here is Bangladesh, because that guy said he's from Bangladesh. So within this area, like I've been telling you, you could literally walk to America.
What is he talking about?
They have been lying to us about where these people are, where we are. This is why those immigrants were taking buses, not planes. They were driving, getting dropped off to America. Y'all need to wake up.
Okay.
And if you think I'm capping, it says Bangla right here, India, extra. So on the old maps, right, Bangladesh is here. They walked to America. We're starting to wake up, you guys. We're starting to realize.
I need all my Indian friends to chime in and let me know if this is true.
It went over your heads to realize that the geographical area that they're talking about is a lie. The wall is just to confuse you, to try to keep you locked into the lies that they've been telling you ever since grade school. Now you know why they keep sending your jobs to India and China, because they're right around the corner.
Interesting. What is this? Unacceptable. What? They want to see what it felt like? Because they're not even doing it that hard. They just need to go harder. I'm not racist, y'all. But this right here, I've never seen that, ever.
It started with a slow, creepy walk up the stairs. Neighbors saw him, quiet, focused, just a PhD student in chemistry. No one thought twice, until he pulled out a syringe. He moved like he belonged there, calm, focused, quiet. He knelt beside the apartment door of his neighbors, people who barely knew him, and injected something into the crack along the baseboard. Whatever it was, it seeped under the door and into the air. Within hours, everyone inside the apartment started to feel it. Nausea, dizziness, vomiting. One person collapsed and was rushed to the ER. Doctors couldn't figure it out at first, until toxicology reports came back. Poison, lab grade, precise. The kind only someone with an advanced chemistry background could create. Police reviewed the footage, traced it back, and that quiet guy with the PhD, he was arrested for chemical assault. All because he wanted to test something, or worse, send a message.
Y'all gotta be careful. See, that's why I don't want any neighbors. I just want to live out in the country with nobody around. That's some serious heavy-duty muscle there.
This is the moment a man falls off his bike after being pelted with cow poo.
Ew. Poor thing. He's got to go take a shower. Ew, what? Stop it.
If I show weakness, if I retreat, I may be hurt, I may be killed.
This man was eaten alive by a bear. This is Timothy Treadwell, a man who believed he was one of the bears. But Timothy wasn't so grizzled outdoorsman.
How can anybody believe that?
He was a bartender from Long Island, New York, who had once dreamed of becoming a famous actor. He even auditioned for the TV show Cheers, but when he lost the role to Woody Harrelson, everything spiraled. Heartbroken, Timothy fell into a deep hole of alcoholism and substance addiction throughout his 20s. At one point, his addiction addiction got so bad, he nearly died from an overdose. Searching for a way out, he escaped to the wild and became obsessed with Alaska grizzly bears. But Timothy didn't study them from afar. He lived with them. For 13 summers, he camped in Katmai National Park, walking up to massive wild grizzlies, sometimes even petting them. And somehow they let him. To Timothy, the bears weren't dangerous. They were his family. He believed he was protecting them and that they loved him for it. But rangers warned him again and again, these bears aren't your friends. You're trespassing into their world. And one day, it's going to end badly. In the summer 2003, Timothy decided to break his own rules. Instead of leaving at the end of bear season like usual, he stayed deep into October when bears are starving and aggressive, desperate to survive before hibernation. And this time, he wasn't alone. He brought his girlfriend, 37-year-old Amy Huguenard,
God dang, she's 37?
Who loved nature but was terrified of the bears. The two set up camp in a place called the Grizzly Maze, one of the most dangerous parts of the park. No weapons, no bear spray, nothing to protect them. Timothy told friends he wasn't worried. He said the bears knew him and that he was cool with the bears. But nature doesn't care what you believe. On October 5th, when the pilot arrived to pick them up, he immediately saw a massive bear, bigger and more aggressive than the others, pacing around the campsite. The pilot fled and called for help. When rangers arrived, they walked into a nightmare. The tent was destroyed, the ground was torn apart and scattered across the site were the mutilated remains of Timothy and Amy. Nearby, the same massive bear, a starving old male, was guarding the area. When it charged, rangers were forced to shoot it. But then they found something even more chilling. Inside the torn up tent was Timothy's video camera. The lens cap was still on, so no video, but the audio had been recording. For 6 minutes, it captured the sounds of their final moments. Timothy screaming that he was being attacked, Amy yelling at him to play dead, the sounds of her desperately fighting the bear, striking it with a frying pan, Timothy crying out that he was dying, and finally, silence. The tape has never been released publicly. Only a handful of people have ever heard it, and they say it's one of the most horrifying things imaginable.
So why can't we hear it? Whatever. Oh my goodness, what is going on in this world? You'll see that? Look to the right. Hopefully those houses get lucky and don't get touched. I mean, yeah, they look pretty safe. Is he having a heart attack? This is creepy. The music is disturbing. Okay.
As I grew up, I had access to an 80,000 volume library, and I read from that library extensively about religion, all the religions of the world.
The day we moved into the house was very chaotic. We were trying to move out the previous owner while we were trying to move in a family of 7. So it was pretty chaotic. And I came running through from the kitchen to the front hallway, and into what became our dining room, and there was this man standing there. And as children do, I was just like, okay, you know, it's somebody, and I ran off to play.
The house was straight out of the 30s or 40s. It had linoleum on the floor. There was no modern conveniences. The house was 110 feet long, and just walking it back and forth, walking the length of the house, unpacking and getting the children settled, my muscles of my legs started to hurt, and that was the beginning of the pain.
It drained my mother's energy so severely that she would sleep in bed for like 2 years. She could hardly get out of bed.
What?
But it caused her
2
so much
years?
depression, too. Fear for her children, fear for herself.
Terrible fear for us.
I met one of the neighbors, and she said to me, you know, when the Kenyans lived here, they left the lights burning in the house all the time, all day long, all night long. And I thought that was kind of strange, but that was clarified for us by Mr. Kenyon. He said, for the sake of the children, you should leave lights on at night.
When you walk in a house at
It would have been time to move immediately.
that house really had very, 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 very bad vibes.
In her day, she was the house of the county, you know, the one that you drive by and they're like, that was the first house. And that's what she was. And when the witch and on all these ghosts moved in, they just slowly just chipped away at her, and like the cracks showed up and the veining and the darkness of the house.
We started to absorb the karma of the house almost.
That's it.
Taken from some place where people were either killed or maimed, or so many ways. So it's tragic for me, you know, to even go in. People are very, very interested in the museum. And there's some people that are afraid to even go in.
I would not go in there.
Right here is a conjuring mirror. Everything
Don't look.
and anything in here we have investigated. Don't ever touch anything. And if you do, let me know. This is the worst thing in here. It's that doll. I'm not gonna stare at it though.
No. Why are they doing that?
Yes, it is. That's the Annabelle doll.
Bye. Exactly.
Have you ever heard someone say you shouldn't face two mirrors directly towards each other or you might open a portal? Well, there may be something to that. Now, you have to understand the history of mirrors. Going back to China and Europe, there was this custom that when someone would pass away, you would cover the mirror, because it was believed that when their spirit would leave their body, if it happened to see its own reflection, it would realize it was a spirit and it would stay here in the living world. It was also believed that
Y'all should see my arm, y'all.
when a person
Look
had
at it.
passed on and their spirit was traveling to the other world, then sometimes evil spirits might jump into the mirror to sort of mimic this spirit. So by covering the mirror, you would protect yourself from evil spirits entering it. But you have to understand that, like any object, a mirror especially is a vessel. And spirits see these things as opportunities to communicate with the living world. At the same time, anything negative sees this as an opportunity to use these things to promote fear. So, yes, a mirror can essentially be haunted or contain spirits. Now, this is a story that I had heard from Arkadelphia. There was this husband and wife. They bought up this old fixer-upper, and they were surprised at how cheap it was selling. Even though it needed work, it still was a big, beautiful home. And so they buy this home and they, close. And the first day when they go inside, they thought it was strange because every single mirror in the house was covered. And the mirrors that were hanging on the wall were actually turned around backwards. So the first night they were there, they started uncovering the mirrors and turning the hanging mirrors back forward. Well, as they're doing this, the wife all of a sudden notices that their husband is staring at one of the mirrors on the wall, like very intently. And as she's watching him, it's almost like he's in some kind of trance or daze. So she goes over to him and says, like, honey, are you okay? And finally, he snaps out of it. And he said, that was weird. And she said, what was weird? And he was like, I don't know, I just looked in the mirror and I felt terrified, and I can't really explain it. Like, I don't know what just happened. So he's like, whatever, let's, get back to moving into our new home. So a couple weeks pass, and from time to time, out of the corner of her eye, the wife would swear that she would see a face in all of the mirrors, like when she would walk by him. But she would look again, and there'd be no one there. But she thought maybe, I'm just sort of seeing, a reflection of myself kind of bouncing off the mirror or whatever. So one of the things that she was kind of worried about was in her bedroom, there was a mirror behind the bed and in front of the bed, and they were facing directly towards each other.
Oh, no.
And she'd always heard stories that was never a good thing. But she couldn't really move these mirrors because they had sort of been almost built into the house.
Interesting.
Well, one night, she wakes up and she hears like someone talking. She looks over. Her husband is now out, not in the bed. And she's like, who is my husband talking to, like, at this hour?
Right.
So she starts going to look for him, and she finds that, like, he's in the bathroom with the door closed. She
I'm getting
kind
creeped
of,
out,
like,
y'all.
manages to see through the crack of the door that her husband is sitting there, like, talking to himself while he's looking in the mirror. And so she's like, who in the world, like, who's he talking to? So she goes back to bed. Next day, she wakes up. She asks her husband, like, hey, who were you talking to last night in the bathroom? And he goes, what are you talking about? I wasn't talking to anyone. She goes, we got up in the middle of the night, you were talking to someone in the bathroom. He's like, no, I was sleeping in bed next to you. Okay. And he had no recollection of ever being in the bathroom. Well, this started happening on a regular basis. He'd be in the bathroom, like, talking to someone in the mirror. And the next day, he would always not remember it. And not only that, she would see him randomly around the house, staring into the mirrors, talking to someone. Until one night, she's in her bed, and she wakes up. Her husband's not there, so she figures he must be talking to these mirrors again, or whatever. But she said all of a sudden, she realized, like, she couldn't move.
Uh-oh.
And no matter what she did, she just couldn't move. And she said all of a sudden, she looked out of the corner of her eye, because she could still move her eyes, and she's seen the mirror in front of the bed, like, start kind of glowing. And
You lost
in
me.
the mirror, she sees the face of this man, and he's just a beautiful looking man. And she can't, like, figure out, like, who in the world, like, is this man in the mirror? At the same time, she's panicking because she can't move. All of a sudden, she said this man stepped out of the mirror.
You're done.
And she could see him, he's this tall guy with, slick back brown hair and blue eyes and, just this really, like, almost looking like a model kind of person. And she said he slowly made his way toward the bed. But as he got closer, his face started to change. And she said right as he got within a few feet of her next to the bed, his face had changed to this decrepit looking horse face. And she said that, like, there was blood dripping from his eyes and out of his nose. She said this thing just sort of bent over, got right up into her face, and started, like, licking the sides of her face. The next thing she knows, she said, like, her husband came in the room, and it was like she was able to move again. This man was gone, and her husband's like, I think something's wrong with this house. And she's like, yeah, like, and she tells him what had just happened. So the next day, they take out every single mirror in the house, and the activity stops. So what do you think? Can mirrors be haunted?
Probably. Y'all, this is super creepy, and I've seen it everywhere, and finally I have the video for you. I don't like this at all. That's
Annabelle is going on tour, and I'm going to be asking my haunted doll.
Oh no!
Okay, great footwork. I see you, baby girl. Oh!
Ooh, my goodness.
No, you come here, mom. I ask you something. You is a hawk? Is you
Look
a
at those
jackal?
toenails.
Yeah, hawk?
I'm recording this just in the off chance that no one believes me. Maybe I can catch it.
Catch what?
And by the way, I have a freaking cemetery in my front yard, which probably doesn't help my cause. But I was just inside. I'm by myself with my dog. She's up in that room upstairs.
Shut that dog up. I do not like
Josie?
dogs.
Josie.
I just don't like all that noise that they do. They're cute, but I don't like them barking. And the slobber. Blech. What is it then?
Yeah, she's just been staring at that, and then she started barking. And she growled. And when she growled, I kind of like booked it. Staring at that, and then she started barking. And she growled. And when she growled, I kind of like booked it. I just don't really know what she's staring at.
Those are cute doors.
Because again, like, this is usually how she looks when she's waiting for me to come in, and I'm just like...
She's probably spooked by the jacket.
What? What is it? So a lot of you guys have also been asking questions about the graveyard. Yes, we do indeed have a graveyard on.
It's
this
just
property.
a graveyard. Come on.
So this was my grandparents' ranch, and it was their wish to be buried.
And so why would they haunt you right now? I mean, like, seriously.
And
bye. Next. Girl, look at your room. That's what's ugly.
Se está incendiando el Hilton.
What is
Ahí
this?
sale el humo.
A fire? Okay.
Oye, suena la alarma de todos lados.
The moment you guys have been waiting for. Oh, what's that noise? What is that? I don't like it. This is supposed to be real.
总算出园了。
I would never go paragliding ever again in life. Ever.
After hearing my story today, you may think I'm crazy, but everything I say is true.
Everything
My
in this
name
video
is
is
Carlos.
crazy.
I was born and raised in Alicante, Spain, and I spent my childhood on the beach fishing with my family. Before getting into the story, let me first say that the world will change drastically very soon. Very soon. Sooner than you think. In 2028, the world you know will disappear. You might ask me how I know that and how I can speak so confidently. I will tell you the secret. I was born in 2012. You may think I'm joking. It's 2022 now, and I'm obviously not 10 years old. I will now reveal my main secret. I'm not from current times. I am from the year 2040. I know it sounds like some sort of science fiction story, but it's absolutely true. A few centuries ago, a submarine or an airplane was just as fantastic. Would anyone believe that there could be an electric clock that could contain both a telephone and a player and a health tracker back in the 2000s? But only a few years later, it is just a simple smartwatch produced by almost all brands. What I'm saying is that the world can change drastically in just one day, simply because of a new invention, such as the telephone, electricity, uranium usage, and so on. Let me get back to the story. I lived in Spain all my life. As I said, I was fishing. And later we had a small family factory in Valencia. I'm saying all this so that we understand that I'm an ordinary person like you, from a simple family. As I was saying, the world will soon change drastically.
Yeah, but how?
And it will start in 2028, when the cryptocurrency immediately became dominant over the dollar and the rest of the currencies we all know. But do not rush to invest all your money into cryptocurrency, because the future crypto is not yet available on any online platform.
Okay, what's the crypto
Everything
name?
is more complicated than you think. In 2026, the United States will introduce a new payment system called coin salary.
Uh-oh.
What is this coin salary? Let me explain in a few words. Imagine for a second, you are a salesperson working in a shop and your monthly salary is $6,000. Instead, you will receive crypto coins, but not X quantity crypto coins, which you can spend on whatever you want. You receive a specific amount of crypto coins for specific purposes. For example, you will get EAT coin to buy food, car coin to buy a car, travel coin to travel, etc. What is the point of that? Let me explain.
Yeah, let's hear it.
If you are a salesperson, for example, you can never buy an expensive sports car or spend your entire yearly income in Monaco's casinos. You have a certain amount of crypto coins for specific things. You can't buy clothes with EAT coin. You need cloth coin to buy clothes, techno coin to buy a laptop or a smartphone, etc. You may think it is a new way of control and everything is very bad and apocalyptic, but in reality, you will be very well paid for the work you do, and it would be impossible not to lead a normal life with the crypto coins you receive. You can just say that the government organizes your budget for you so that a person with a small salary doesn't spend all the money on an expensive car and not be able to pay the rent later. That is, the kind of car you drive depends on the job you have. I hope you get my point. In 2027, Coin Salary was a new demo pilot program but it completely took over all the currencies we know in just 1 year. And in 2028, it changed the world. We can say that the wallet sellers suffered the most because the demand for wallets completely disappeared. At the end of 2028, the concept of cash was forgotten. The concept of cash was forgotten. So were bank cards and IDs. In 2029, a new system was introduced called MeQR. What is MeQR? Everyone has a QR code on their hands.
I'm not getting
which
that.
Contains all the information about that person. Passport data, illnesses, any criminal history, family status, vaccinations, and crypto coins. Of course, whether to have a QR code or not is your decision. No one is forcing you to do it. But imagine not needing to carry any documents with you. For example, when you go on a vacation. In my case, it was a huge relief because I used to always forget documents. Imagine for a second a very common thing. You buy cinema tickets online and they instantly appeared in your QR code. Are you wondering if I have a QR or not?
Let me see.
Yes, I have. And now I will show you something interesting.
Somebody scan that. Hurry up and tell me.
You see, the simple smartphone you use in 2022 scans the QR code on hand, which proves that right now they are secretly developing the MeQR program.
Do y'all believe this?
Ah, yes. You may be thinking why I'm here is if everything was so good there. The answer is very simple. Our family lived very modestly and I had no future there. The maximum I could have was a small apartment in a bad neighborhood and a weird Japanese car. But I wanted a better life for myself, and soon a very good idea dawned on me. There were cash dollars left in every house, in the pockets of an old jacket or a wallet thrown somewhere in the house. I decided to sell everything I had, the apartment, my small family business, my car, even my computer, and I bought the seemingly useless old $100 bills from people with my crypto coins. People sold thousands of dollar bills for only 10 or 20 coins or car coins. Now I'm going to say something that will seem funny, but I bought about $5 million with my crypto coins, and I gave the rest of the crypto coins to a Time Machine Lab employee who secretly sent me back to 2016. I've been here for 6 years and I'm enjoying the $5 million I brought from my future.
It doesn't look like you're in a $5 million house.
Thank you for your attention.
Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.